Hi, welcome. My name is Chrissy, and in this video I wanted to talk to you about how to navigate the teenage years. Now, this video I'm talking from a parent's perspective. Now, we all have heard that, the teenage years are very challenging and difficult to get through, but I honestly can say from my experience, I had no idea how difficult it was going to be and how challenging it would be and how much it would affect my life. I remember the baby years and the toddler years, and I thought, wow, those toddler years, they were really tough, and a few tantrums here and there, and I was really overwhelmed, and because you're sleep deprived, and I thought that was tough. But the teenage years are like nothing else. Now, I think that's more why I want to shoot this video, to let people know out there that you're not alone in this journey and struggle of trying to cope with teenagers. Now, we all have different things that we cope with teenagers, but there's so much going on with them, that there's hormones, testosterone. God, we all think back to how we were with our parents. You didn't like your parents being around. Everything's embarrassing. You got issues nowadays with all the social media. There's a lot more pressure on Instagram and looking good. And this is for guys and for girls as well. It's not just, society out there. The teenagers are really exposed to these things really early, and that can put enormous pressure on a lot of young ones. But as a parent, it is very hard to navigate, and I think some of the tips I'll give you today that have helped me is to certainly seek advice. I asked around to a lot of people who had been through it, and they all agreed it was very, very challenging. And some of the best advice that I was given was to actually try and just detach and really remove yourself. Now, most of us talk about the communication in the teenage years. You sort of don't really have much communication. Kids tend to really sort of go quiet in the teenage years, and they keep everything very private. Their friends are very important, girlfriends, driving. There's so many things that are sort of helping them to evolve into young adults, but that can also be overwhelming for parents when you feel that your children are very ungrateful. We do so much for them. I know people out there, if you're looking at this, we do enormous amounts for our children. We love them so much that we almost go over the top, but you can't help it. It's a natural thing for especially mothers and dads as well. But mums are really nurturing. It's just in us, and that's what we do. We nurture our children. And when we're being hurt by them or we're being disregarded, that can be very painful and very, very difficult for us to navigate and to kind of cut the apron strings and let them go. So I think it's about really starting to find your own life again. So I think that's one of the best advice that I've been given, is to start to find your own passions and start to get those little snippets of your life going again, where we get quite lost when our children are small, and we can kind of start to find our own identity again as our children become teenagers. And I think that's really important for what can actually save us in those teenage years, because teenagers can be very, very nasty. They have a very sharp tongue, and they will say things that they really don't mean, but we can still take that on board, and it can be very, very hurtful. And you feel like you stuff up a lot trying to navigate these teenage years, because it's just not easy. But I really want to let you know out there that you're not alone. I've really been doing a lot of talking to a lot of people about this, and they all roll their eyes and go, oh my gosh, the teenage years, I didn't think I'd make it through. And I always remember somebody said to me, it's like going to the show and they hop on a ride, like say the haunted house, and just letting them go in, and you just wait outside and hold the bags, and you just got to wait for them to come out the other side, because everybody says they do come out the other side, and they come out completely different. And I'm still got my fingers crossed to hope that that happens. I mean, my kids can be really beautiful too, and I know we all have positive times as well. But sometimes you just sort of think, how am I going to get through this? Is there light at the end of that tunnel? But everyone reassures you that there is. So, if you're going through these really tough times with your teenagers, just try and detach. Keep yourself really emotionally stable. They're very triggered very easily, so it's important that we sort of back off a little bit and just kind of start to really nurture and take care of ourselves, because I think that's the best thing you can do for your kids, is just keep your own strength up. They're so muddled up in their brains, and life is so overwhelming nowadays that, you know, you have to still remain that grounded person, that they will reach out to you. And look, they always say that people really hurt the ones that they love, and I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's the truth. And I think that's what happens a lot in the teenage years. You know, I'm not saying that happens to all teenagers, but it certainly seems to be happening to a lot. And we've had so many bizarre things over the last few years that have sort of thrown all of us for a curveball. So imagine what they're kind of going through. It's like a whole different experience than what we had in our teens. So yeah, I think it's just good to be aware of what they're going through, but it's also very important to save yourself and really nurture yourself and get that inner strength. And this is about mind, body, and soul, and really keeping your own sort of self filled up with the things that you love and your passions. And if children see that too, that's also being a really good role model, because they'll start to you'll mirror those things onto them as well. So they'll start to pick up, oh wow, or mum does this or dad does this. So, you know, they're also looking for guidance still, even though they're trying to push you away and they feel they don't need that guidance. They're still taking note of what's happening around them. So yeah, just be really aware of it. Know that you're not alone out there. I understand. I've been going through it myself, and it is super challenging. So keep smiling. Hit those like buttons. That helps me. If you want to go check out my videos, I've got lots of videos that can help you with things like this as well. Subscribe, of course, and I will see you in that next video. So good luck, but they'll come out the other side. Bye.